There's a demographic of people that don't assume that my dad is white. So when they come to work on our family home, they look around and they ask my mom, is your husband a basketball player or a rapper? They cannot configure, they cannot imagine how she's living there without basketball or rapper money. There's nothing wrong with that kind of money, but in a deeply unfair economic system, in a social system that still has a caste, you have to think when you're dating, when you're parenting, when you're trying to save or create something for yourself and your family, what is considered normative. This ongoing idea that it's natural for Black men to find avenues of wealth through entertainment and sports, and that if they do so through authorship or finance or tech or any other creative kind of field, it's white or unusual, that's important. I wish more people would also connect how this social climb and what is rewarded or punished, which is the definition of culture, usually involves denigrating dark-skinned Black women in this process. So it matters that Mara Akil in Forever, this Netflix show that has garnered a lot of praise and exhilaration amongst wide-ranging audiences, chose to create a family, a realistic, true, humane couple between a Black woman and a Black man, and the Black woman's in finance and the dad is a chef. Stereotypes about successful Black men, what kind of women they marry, what kind of work they do, they might seem innocuous because they're positive. They're not stereotypes that are saying that he got his money illegally. They're not saying that he shouldn't be with a Black woman at all, that sort of thing. But just because they're not negative stereotypes doesn't mean that they don't have a kind of weight to them or they can't endanger you. The consequences can be deadly because when Black men are seen either at the bank, in their cars, lounging at their home, cooking in their backyard, and someone thinks that something is off, something is wrong, something is suspicious, when you live in a state that has decided that capital and white people's capital should be protected through violence, you're exposing yourself potentially to a situation in which you could get the cops called on yourself, and you might not even be aware of that, and they could harm you because you're in the wrong spot. That sense that something is off is the result of social programming that is then compounded through mass media. In Forever, Eric Edwards does not follow the traditional or the stereotypical way that a Black man can achieve economic excellence in America. Typically, what is presented is that the standard exceptional path for Black excellence is an incredible amount of education, someone who is working in a cutthroat field where they're the only one. Or, like we said earlier, that stereotype of being an incredible sportsman or an entertainer. Again, nothing wrong with that. We want to see all of these men succeed in whatever path they're called to. Key point here, Eric's success is connected to a Black woman who he respects. He is not college educated. He is married to a Northwestern educated, well-connected finance wife. He's very open about the fact that he was able to even begin to open several restaurants and pursue this particular creative path as a business because of his wife's connections. He's clear when he talks to his son Justin that it's his wife's background that allows him to turn this pursuit into a profitable venture. And he's not emasculated in any way by this fact. Nor does he define his Blackness and his sense of manlyhood of achieving this thing through struggle. Critically, Eric doesn't compete with his wife. He does not try to humble this accomplished Black woman. He doesn't resent her. He doesn't speak ill of her around their children or in front of other people. He sees her and their shared wealth as a partnership. He sees the special attributes that she brings as an elite, educated person as a team effort that they're all benefiting from. He's modeling to his sons this healthy and healed approach and how his masculinity is not in any way threatened by Dawn's abilities. He does not believe that Black women are the enemies of Black men's flourishing. He in no way signals that dark-skinned Black women are the stepping stone, just the starter wives for Black men who are trying to achieve a form of the American dream. Throughout the series, he celebrates his wife Dawn as a Black woman. He is respectful of the other Black women in their circle. And he never communicates to his son any of that future wifey nonsense that we see where the men talk about how their wives are not attractive to them, but they're very useful for their career and calling. It has not been uncommon in the past to show or depict Black men as being emasculated by Black women in their community who happen to be very good at what they do, who happen to be capable. There's also a common trope of if they're not being emasculated, well, they're the abusive, brutish ones to the Black women. And what can you say? It's just part of the culture. And then, disappointingly, when you watch other movies about Black families or Black couples, you see good Black men who have it all standing next to a very light-skinned wife. They traded up in the social caste system and they got the top of the top kind of black woman, the palatable black video girl. The character of Eric is fictional, but the love he shares with Dawn is not. It's something we have seen, it's something that's just part of our community. Dawn and Eric portray a kind of love and partnership that has unfortunately been socially devalued or completely ignored. In the American story, long before Netflix even knew what it was, there have been black men who have loved and partnered happily with amazing black women in their community. They have creatively found ways to choose their partner and choose the labor of their lives. As my former ethics teacher, Russell Witherspoon, once said at his retirement ceremony very recently, who you choose in love and labor, that's the most important decision of your life. What you work on, who you work on it with, who you love, how you love them, it will change the course of your entire life. Who you love and how they love you back, that determines the kind of the journey you have on the path you feel called to take. Before Forever, I saw in my own community, through Mr. Witherspoon, through the uncles in my community, people who knew how to love and partner well. The power of supportive, strong, great leadership by men like this. It's something to see and celebrate, especially when we see viral moment after viral moment of men going on podcasts with their dark-skinned wife, gorgeous, nice, intelligent, sitting next to them while they go and they complain about how she wasn't their type and she wasn't what they were looking for, and they mock and they denigrate, and her spiritual journey was putting up with his foolishness and simply suffering. Alternative images of being cherished and appreciated count. In a social system, in a caste system, in a class system, in America, men will continue to wink and signal that if they had a choice, they wouldn't choose the woman next to them. They seek to normalize that this is the best it gets and that other people should just put up with this from their fiancés and their boyfriends and their husbands. Mara Brock Akil's Eric felt real because he is real. He's the kind of guy who offers the kind of love that truly deserves to be platformed.